Payroll tax. I know you've been waiting to talk about this because we were on the text last night till about 10 o'clock trying to get our head around or some sort of explanation as to, number one, who came up with it, and number two, why do they continue to think it's a good idea? So
I've got a bit of background for you. I do.
Well, can you maybe explain what it is firstly? Because some people might not have ever been exposed to payroll tax.
So payroll tax is a lovely additional tax that's levied against employers based on the amount of wages they pay in a certain state or territory. So effectively putting it into a real life example, let's use Victoria. Basically, any wages above a threshold, you're going to pay an additional 4.85% tax for paying employees' wages and superannuation. It's been around since 1941, and it was run by Australia at a federal level. And then from 1971, the Commonwealth government went, no, we're going to give this back to the states and territories to run. And they've passed it down to, so each individual state and territory runs their own payroll tax through their state revenue office. So for example, when we just wrapped up the June quarter, we had to declare our wages to the ATO, but then also we've had to do a reconciliation of payroll tax to the state revenue office. For us, the joys, we also get to pay it in WA for our team members that work over in Perth. And then we get to pay it again in Melbourne as well. So that's always fun. And I didn't actually realize until I just looked this up, payroll tax is the single largest state and territory levied tax. It makes up for $25.8 billion in revenue to the states and territories.
Can you give me an example or an explanation then? Because I think you're going to go down that path. Why? Why do they think it's a good idea to tax businesses that want to give people jobs? So, because in simple terms, from my point of view, it's a tax on an expense versus every other tax, which is on an income. So is there some theory behind why they thought that would be a good idea?
To be honest, mate, like in everything that I've seen and every conversation I've had with anyone about this, it's just complaints about it being the worst tax that actually exists. And if you actually look at the data worldwide, Australia is one of the only or one of the biggest payroll tax countries around the world. Most other countries abolished it, got rid of it, or never had it because it doesn't make sense to penalise business owners for giving people jobs. So to actually make somebody, as you grow a business, I've hired some more people this year. I not only have to factor in company tax, GST, my own marginal tax, I then have to factor in work cover, additional superannuation, and now as well, payroll tax because we've given more people jobs this year. So it kind of feels like a penalty. It kind of feels like a bit of a kick in the guts for growing a business and giving people jobs.